All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Dazaban, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, with another video coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai, which is his beloved son. Those are the true names in the Hebrew. But I wanted to go on this article. It says Syria says U.S. stealing oil after American energy firm signs deal with Kurdish rebels. You know, and this is indicative of the so-called white man. This is how Esau was set up to rule and obtain his wealth. Like, you know, and this is not new. So I'm going to read some of this article. I got a few precepts, man. If the Lord deals, I'll get some more. It says, the Syrian government has accused the U.S. of stealing the country's oil reserves, which Washington claimed to be protecting from terrorists. American lawmakers admitted that the deal has been signed with Kurdish rebels, and the Kurdish rebels are basically not for the actual Syrian government, so they're in an illegitimate power structure that is opposing the sovereign nation, you know. And if this ever happened in the U.S., Esau would shut it down and he'd label those people terrorists. But since they're on his behalf and working for his behalf, he's not label them as terrorists. It says, when President Donald Trump pulled U.S. troops out of Syria last October, it was not the full withdrawal. It was not the full job promise in his anti-interventionist campaign speech. Instead, a contingent was left behind in areas of North Syria, controlled by Kurdish-led Syrian democratic forces. Don't know how to say this. Ostensibly to protect the region's oil fields from Islamic State, ISIS, formerly terrorists. It says, however, the Syrian government has accused the U.S. of pilfering the oil for itself. In a statement to the state-controlled Sana news agency on Sunday, the foreign ministry condemned a deal signed between an unnamed American oil firm and the Syrian Defense Force, calling the oil extraction, stealing, and the rebels a cheap puppet in the hands of the American occupation. And this is what Esau's doing, man. He goes throughout the world stealing, killing, and destroying, you know? And let's get that precept, John 10:10. You know, and this is what you're seeing happening on a global scale. And this is why the nations are getting irritated and angry, man. Because you have this same devil walking about doing all these things, man. John 10:10. It says, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. You see, the thief, Esau Edom, he's the ultimate thief, man. This is what he does. He goes throughout the world stealing everything and then killing anybody who disagrees. It says, the ministry added, I'll finish that scripture. It says, the thief coming not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. And that's to the Israelites, man. The elect of them, first and foremost, and then the 2/3 will come back to the loins of the elect in the kingdom. And they'll be able to have that life abundantly too. It says the ministry added that it would consider the deal null and void. The government in Damascus has long accused the U.S. of looting Syrian oil reserves, while the troops left behind on the oil fields supposedly stopped the black gold from falling into terrorist hands. The sanctions on the Syrian government mean that the U.S. hasn't handed it over to Damascus either. Instead, rumors have circulated that the U.S. Quietly sold the oil off to foreign buyers, with Syrian President Bashar Assad accusing America of flogging the oil to Turkey, just as Islamic States and al-Nusra terrorists did beforehand. It says, backside President Trump's assertion that I kept the oil did little to dispel these rumors. You see? So this is what they're doing, man. Going throughout the world doing these things, man. Let me get this. This is Obadiah 1 and 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus said Yahweh power concerning Edom, which are the so-called white people today, the Caucasians. That was their forefather was Esau, and Esau is Edom. That's the progenitor of the Edomites. And it says, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, and the Israelites are the ambassador that have been sent in the spirit from the heavenly Father among the heathen to bring out this judgment and tell them that the heavenly Father sees the shit that they're doing, man. It says, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised, man. It says, verse 3, you know, it says, the pride of thy heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's why these Edomites do these things like this, because they believe they cannot be touched, you know. And it goes back to that goes back to that covering that Lord gave Cain and Tubal Cain. Let me see if I can get it. You know, oh man. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Salakia. Let me see what Tubal King said. Son said. Yeah, here it is. Genesis 4 and 22. I'm sorry, 22. It says, and Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. It says, and Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man. I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. So this is the same spirit that Esau has when he walks throughout the earth, man. He's like, if anybody touches me, hey, I'm gonna go in on them, man. You try to come at me, I'm gonna ride on you. And this is how Esau's spirit is, man. But now what? You're having this guy getting pointed out on a global scale, telling you have a whole government saying, hey, and that oil, that's prime economy right there. You're forcibly putting the sanctions on these countries, and then what? It's still in there the material they need to be able to survive. So what? these nations are beginning to hate this man at an all new level, man. This Habakkuk 2 and 4 says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not uprighted him, but the just shall live by faith." And this is talking about Esau. You know, he's very lifted up, but his soul still ain't right, man. It says, "Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied." You know, and his desire is as hell. Why? Because here it is, they're telling you that he was supposed to be there as a protector against a terrorist, but what? He used it as a covert mission to be able to kill a bunch of people and take oil in the scheme of presenting himself as being a helper. It says, "But gather unto him all nations, and heap it unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his?" You see? That's what's happening, man. These nations are gonna begin to say, "Hey, kill this dude. He's stealing everybody's stuff." That's what they're pointing out right now. It says, "And to him that laded himself with thick clay." The thick clay is abatya, which means heavy debt. You can look at the U.S. debt clock, man. Look at all these Edomite nations, man. Their debt is just skyrocketing, bro. It says, "Shall not these rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them?" Meaning these nations that you're robbing, stealing, and pillaging from, they're going to rise up against you, Edomites, which is what? The chief of all the Edomites in the world are those that are in the land of Israel right now, which are really just Khazars that converted to so-called Judaism, and Esau Edom in the U.S. You know, the so-called white men in the Americas, those are the chief. You know, you have your monetary great, your military great, and your religious great. And Esau, that is the military great, is in the U.S. You know, it says, "Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, for thy violence, for the violence of the land and of the city, and all that dwell therein." You see? Because he spoiled many nations, right? It says, verse 9, "Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house." It said that they believed that they sold it. And Trump's words saying that I kept the oil did not dispel these rumors. It says the deal mentioned by the foreign ministry, though his acknowledgement, and though is acknowledged by Washington. In the Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing on Thursday, Senator Lindsey Graham said that a deal had been signed to modernize the oil fields in northeastern Syria. Graham asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo whether the Trump administration supported the deal, to which Pompeo replied, "We are." You see? So how do you have a whole deal going on, but the main government that's there isn't receiving anything from it, and you're putting sanctions on them? It says, verse 9, Habakkuk 2 and 9, "Woe to him that increaseth, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul." Because these things are things that the Lord is going to address, man. But this is all Esau's blessing. This is how he would have to get down in the world. You know, this was how he was told that his blessing would come through, man. Genesis 27 and 38, it says, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also." And Esau was a forefather of the entire nation of Edom, like I said before. It says, "Oh, my father," and Esau lifted up his voice and wept. You know, and that's how Esau gets down, man. The so-called white man is a goddamn crybaby, man. Verse 38, verse 39, it says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth." I mean, the big substance, right? "In the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword." So he would get all these riches, right? But it says, "And by thy sword thou shalt live." You're only going to be able to get these things by the sword. And that's what you're seeing, man. And these nations are getting tired of it. It says, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. And this devil has been loosed out into the world right now to do just that. You see? So this is how he's getting down, and it's only going to get worse because these nations are going to start calling him out on a global scale. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to say, Call Allah, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, mercy, of Velek, Shalom.